Well, what's up everyone, I'm CallumOnToast, and in today's video I'm going to be showcasing some absolutely insane battles in the Great League Remix Cup. So yes, these are some older battles, but let's not kid ourselves. You don't watch my content so that you can use my teams to try and climb in the Go Battle League. You watch my content because the battles are entertaining, so it doesn't really matter what league I showcase and whether it is currently available or not, because you're going to enjoy these battles anyway. So I am once again running the triple flex team with the Salazzle in the lead and the double shiny dragons in the back. We've got Haxorus and we've got Fraxure, and this team did surprisingly well. If you've not seen my first video with this team, then I recommend you go check it out. But in this video we're going to be landing a ton of Fire Blasts from Salazzle, and it is going to be flipping so many matchups where it seemed like I had absolutely no win condition, and then suddenly landing a Fire Blast changed everything. So yeah, some really insane battles in this video. So now for the question of the day, I want to know what is the most underrated legacy move that a Pokemon can learn. And I'm not talking about community day moves, I'm talking about moves that were available for the Pokemon back in 2016 but are no longer available without the use of an Elite TM. So perhaps a move that most people wouldn't consider using an Elite TM on, but is actually really strong. So to give you an example, Psyshock Hypno I think is really good, but most people wouldn't consider using an Elite TM on it because it has a lot of other viable charge moves anyway. So let me know in the comment section and you may get a shout out, not in my next GBL video but in the one after, and I will tell you why at the end of this video. But with that being said, let's get into the battles now. Alright, so into the first battle, we lead Salazzle into a Zweilous, so not a very good lead. I'm going to instantly switch into Haxorus, and I'm met with a Frostlass. I'm going straight for the Night Slash here. This will do a lot of damage if it goes unshielded, but we do get a shield, so that is perfect for me. And my opponent chickens out, and they go for a move we weren't going to be able to get to a second Night Slash, so that is absolutely perfect for me. I'm going to come in with Salazzle here, and I'm actually going to commit to a full Incinerate farm down. My opponent goes for the Shadow Ball there, so a good shield by me. And now I'm going for a Poison Fang. I could be running Dragon Pulse and that would probably take out the Zweilous, but they choose not to shield it, so very good bait call by my opponent. I go for another Poison Fang here, we get the shield, I switch into Haxorus, we do massive damage with that one Dragon Tail. My opponent switches into a Beedrill here. I'm going to land this Dragon Claw, and now I'm actually going to stop attacking, force them to throw their energy, and then I should be able to come in with the Salazzle, farm them down with Incinerate, and then I should be able to get to one more Poison Fang and take out the Zweilous there, and my opponent realises that, so they concede the match. So GG's to that opponent there. Into the next game, we lead into a Whiscash, so an awful lead for us. I switch into Haxorus, and my opponent catches the Night Slash on what looks to be a Mandibuzz. And it was a Mandibuzz, so that is absolutely terrible for us. The Whiscash has a ton of energy, and they caught a resisted move onto a very, very bulky Pokemon here. Now I'm able to get to another Dragon Claw here, so that is okay, at least that's something. And it's a CMP tie, so that is probably the best case scenario for me. The foul play takes me out there. Haxorus is absolutely not a tank at all. We're going to come in with Salazzle here. We will tank this first foul play. My opponent gets to another foul play, so we're going to be forced to shield this. I'm going to go for the farm down, but my opponent switches back into Whiscash, and they have a Mud Bomb loaded, so I'm going to go straight for the Fire Blast here. It's resisted, but it's going to do a lot of damage, and boom, we nearly take him out. I switch into the Haxorus, and I'm able to farm down the Whiscash. They come in with Mandibuzz, I'm able to farm them down too, and they come in with a Crobat here, and I'm going to be able to get to the back-to-back Dragon Claws before they can get to a Shadow Ball, and we're just barely able to get to the second Dragon Claw. And is this going to be enough to take out a Crobat? Yes it is, and we're able to take that game. So even though it looked extremely unlikely that we were going to come back from that, landing the Fire Blast was pivotal for that match there. So we lead into a Hypno there, not a very good lead. My opponent is actually staying in, so I'm going to go for the Night Slash here, and this will do quite a decent amount of super effective damage, and they're going to go for a full farm down, so I'm able to get to one more Night Slash. I will be getting a shield here, but my opponent is absolutely loaded in the energy department. I'm going to come in with the Fracture here, shield this up. It could be anything. They go for a Thunder Punch, so I am going to hope that this is just another Thunder Punch and then commit to a Dragon Tail farm down. It was just a Thunder Punch and I get the Dragon Tail damage through before their confusion registers, so that's perfect. They come in with Frost Slash, I get a shield with the Night Slash, I come in with Salazzle, and my opponent comes in with a Mandibuzz, so I'm going straight for the Fire Blast. This will do a lot of damage to Mandibuzz. And wow, that does so much damage. I get an extra Incinerate through as well, so that is perfect. I'm going to shield up this Foul Play, which is questionable, but I'm going to go straight for a Poison Fang here and force them to throw pretty much as soon as possible. And they get to the charge move here, but the Incinerate damage goes through, and now I should be able to Dragon Tail farm them down with the debuff defense, and I'm able to take that game. So GG's to that opponent there. Once again, landing the Fire Blast, absolutely insane damage there. We lead into another Shadow Hypno. This time we're met with a Charm Shadow Granbull, and we're going down ridiculously fast, but I'm able to land a Night Slash. Now I'm going to come back in with Salazzle. We do double resist the charms here, so that is perfect, and I'm able to farm them down before they get to a move. They come back in with Hypno. Can we land a Fire Blast here? This will absolutely flip the game. No, they shield it up, and I don't even attack there because the confusion's going to register before the Incinerate goes through. My opponent gets to a charge move here. They're staying in with Hypno, so I'm hoping that if we can get rid of this Hypno, then maybe, just maybe, we have a slither of hope against whatever is in the back. We get the Dragon Tail through here, which is perfect. They go for another Thunder Punch and they switch into a Shadow Victory Bell. We're going for the Night Slash here. Hopefully we can take them out. It doesn't really matter. We get a pointless attack boost and I am razorly farmed down by a Shadow Victory Bell and we lose that game. Into the next game, we lead into a Lickitung. So this is not the best lead. I'm actually going to switch into Haxorus straight away. These counters are doing a lot of damage to Lickitung as they are super effective. We land a Dragon Claw. My opponent gets to a Body Slam. I'm actually going to shield this up. And my opponent switches into a Beware. So we're going to go for a Dragon Claw here on the CMP tie with a Superpower or possibly a Drain Punch if they're running it. And it actually is a Drain Punch, what the heck. So I'm going to come in with Salazzle here, and unfortunately I think they will get to a payback. But they actually throw super early, so I'm going to no-shield this, expecting another Drain Punch. And they have Superpower, so they're running Drain Punch and Superpower, which is a very strange moveset, but fair enough, it works I guess. We go for a Dragon Claw here. And my opponent lets it go through. I'm going to shield this up. It's probably going to be an Icy Wind. It is an Icy Wind. My opponent switches back into the Lickitung. I'm going for the Dragon Claw here. Now we are debuffed, so that might not have even taken them out. But we do get a shield. And now I'm going to go for the Poison Fang straight away against this Lickitung. And because this Seeking is running the Poison Jab, I'm able to get to another Poison Fang here and I'm going to be able to take that game. So GG's to that opponent there. And into the next game, I'm going to lead Salazzle into Surfetched. So this is a pretty good lead for me. My opponent switches into Registeel and then they instantly quit. Wow, that was a pretty quick game there. Either that was a misclick or they realised that their entire team loses to Salazzle, I'm not sure. But into the next game, we lead into a Dugong here. So this is a fairly neutral matchup. They go straight for the Icy Wind. Unfortunately, they do deny a full Incinerate, which is a bit annoying. But I'm going to go for the Fire Blast. We are debuffed. This will still do a lot of damage. And we switch into Haxorus and we're able to counter farm them down. My opponent comes in with their Golbat here. I'm going straight for the Dragon Claw here just before they get to a charge move. We land it, and that was a CMP tie here with the Poison Fang. I'm going to let this go through, and I should be able to get to one more Dragon Claw. I'm just barely able to, and that is perfect. This will either get a shield or get the Golbat extremely low, so I can farm down with my Fracture here. They come in with an Alolan Marowak, so things are now looking pretty good for us. I'm going to land this Night Slash here. Actually, they shield up the first one, which makes sense because they are Shadow, and look how much damage these Dragon Tails are doing to the Shadow Marowak. They go for a Bone Club bait. I don't really care. I'm shielding up everything. I go for another Night Slash here. We get the final shield, and my opponent realises that they're not going to be able to win that game, so they concede the match. So GG's to that opponent. Into the next game, we lead a Salazzle into mute, so I'm going to stay in for a while and then switch to try and catch a surf onto my Fraxure. My opponent doesn't throw, and they come in with an Excadrill. I'm able to get to a Night Slash here, and this will do quite a lot of damage, even though it is neutral. And we get an attack boost, so now we're going to be able to shield this up, and we can Dragon Tail farm down this Excadrill, which is absolutely insane. My opponent comes in with another steel type. They come in with Berserker here, but because I'm attack boosted, they're going to have to shield everything if they want to maintain their health. And I'm actually able to get to another Night Slash here before my opponent throws a move, which is perfect. We get a final shield, and it's a CMP tie, so that is absolutely perfect. Everything is working in my favour currently. I'm able to counter, farm them down, and my opponent concedes the match. So another game where my opponent just wasn't able to play around it there, so they concede. GG's to that opponent. We lead into a Mandibuzz here, and we do get the Incinerate through this time, which is perfect. They go for a Dark Pulse, and that does a lot of damage. I'm going for a Fire Blast here, and that also does a lot of damage, and I once again switch into Haxorus to counter farm them down there. They come in with a Snarl, Alolan Muck, so this is perfect. Snarl not doing very much damage at all. I get a shield with the Dragon Claw here. My opponent is over farming a lot of energy, so I go for another Dragon Claw here. They let it go through, and I'm able to get a counter through here, so that is perfect. They go for the Dark Pulse, and I'm able to take them out before they throw another move. And at this point, we should be in a very good position here. I'm going for a Dragon Claw on the CMP tie. We get the final shield of my opponent, and I'm actually going to shield this up because I do have a lot of energy. I'm going to switch into the Fraxure here, and they have to go for a Blizzard to take me out. So I'm going for the Dragon Claw here just before they reach a Blizzard. Dragon Claw nearly KOs, they get to the charge move. This will be taking me out. Boom. And at this point, we're very easily going to be able to take that game. So my opponent concedes the match once again. GG's to that opponent. And into the next game here, we lead Salazzle into a Probopass, so not a very good lead. I'm actually going to switch into the Fraxure here, go straight for a Night Slash. This is a Rock Throw Probopass. So they are doing a lot more damage, but we are at least going to be able to outpace them. And as well, we get a Night Slash boost, which is very handy because this second Night Slash does a lot of damage, and we force them to throw a move. So that's perfect. Also, it doesn't look like they have an answer for the Fraxure, so hopefully I can come in with Haxorus, and they are not in a great position. They come in with a Pelipper, so unfortunately they do resist the counters, but the Dragon Claws will do a lot of damage. I'm going to shield this up. It is a Weather Ball. Obviously it's resisted, but I need to maintain the health on my Haxorus. My opponent makes a catch onto Meganium, so a very good catch by my opponent. But if you can catch, so can I, and I'm able to catch a Frenzy Plant. Also, I get a full extra Incinerate through, which I shouldn't have done, but I don't think it makes much of a difference because all they could do is get to another Frenzy Plant there. So I'm able to Incinerate, farm them down, go for a Poison Fang, we get a shield, and I'm actually going to shield this up because I do get an Incinerate through, and I'll be able to debuff their defense one more time. And I do have a charge move loaded on the Haxorus as well, so forcing my opponent to throw here doesn't make much of a difference because I can come in with Haxorus. Even if they have the Weather Ball, I'm going to win CMP, and I'm able to take that game. So GG's to that opponent there. Into the next game, we lead Salazzle into a Shadow Dragonite. Not a good lead. I'm forced to switch into the Fraxure here because if I switch into the Haxorus, I'm just going to get farmed down. But at least the Dragon Tail damage from the Fraxure is pretty threatening to Dragonite as well. My opponent throws just before we get to another charge move, which is perfect timing by them. I'm going to wait out my switch clock and then come in with the Haxorus here. Hopefully I can one shield and farm down this Lickitung. They go for the Body Slam, and I am just barely able to counter farm them down. I'm going for a Night Slash bait here, hoping I can get a boost. My opponent does shield up, and I'm going to switch into the Salazzle here. I'm going to have to shield whatever they throw. Obviously, it's going to be a Dragon Claw, but my opponent switches out into the Ninetales here. I can go for a Poison Fang. and this will do a decent amount of damage. We actually get a shield here, and I'm able to get to another Poison Fang, so hopefully we might be able to farm them down with the counters here. They go for a move, and it's a Weather Ball. It's resisted, but it still takes me out. And can I farm them down before they get to another move? No, I cannot. Weather Ball is resisted. Can we tank it? No, we cannot, and unfortunately we lose that game, but a very close game. GG's to that opponent there. Into the next game, we lead into a Stunfisk. Not a very good lead whatsoever. My opponent stays in for a while. They switch into the Mandibuzz, probably trying to catch a move, but this time I don't fall for it. I go for the Dragon Claw here, and I'm able to get to another Dragon Claw here. Unfortunately, that was not a CMP tie, and my opponent gets a full Air Slash through, which is, I guess, the right play because they're going to lose CMP anyway. They go for the foul play there. I'm going to come in with the Salazzle here, and my opponent is going to get to a charge move here. I have to no shield this, and it does a lot of damage, but I'm able to Incinerate, farm them down. I'm going for the Fire Blast, expecting the Stunfisk to come back in, and boom, it nearly one-shots, and I'm able to switch and farm them down with the Dragon Tails there. I snipe them before they can throw a move, and now we're in the end game here. I'm going for a Night Slash. We get an attack boost, which is perfect. My opponent still hasn't thrown a move yet. I'm going for the second Night Slash here. I'm able to get a shield, and my opponent is going to throw a move. I'm actually going to no shield this. They go for a Power Whip, and I'm actually going to two shield flex on my opponent here, because I can come in with the Salazzle and Incinerate, farm them down. So even though we had a very bad lead, I'm able to two shield flex on that opponent. And into the final battle of this video, we lead into a Hypno. My opponent switches out into a Dugong. We're doing super effective counter damage, so this isn't the worst matchup ever. We go for the Night Slash here, trying to get a boost, and I'm going to go for one more Dragon Claw before I go down here to the Ice Shard. And my opponent decides to shield that up and farm me down. I'm going to shield this up. It could be a Water Pulse. It is a Water Pulse, and I'm able to Incinerate, farm down before they get to another move. I'm going straight for the Fire Blast here. Can we land the Fire Blast this time against Shadow Hypno? Yes, we can, and boom, that takes them out. They have a Machamp in the back, and now I have to make a decision here whether to shield or not. I actually choose not to shield this up because I know that they will be able to counter me down and throw a move into Salazzle. So I come in here, go for the Poison Fang, and my opponent goes for another charge move as well, and I should be able to Incinerate, farm them down before they can counter me down, and I'm able to take that game. So GG's to that opponent there. Super close game, but I was able to take that one, and that's going to be it for the battles here. So if you did enjoy today's video, despite it not being from a cup that's currently available, make sure you leave a like, also leave a comment letting me know, and as well, don't forget to respond to the question of the day for a chance at a shout out in not my next video, but the following video. Now the reason for that is because I'm going to be away this weekend. I'm going to the Berlin Go Fest. I have a ticket for Saturday the 2nd of July, which is also my birthday. So that's really cool how things aligned, but yeah, it means that I won't be able to make a video later on in the week. So instead, I'm going to be pre-recording my next Ultra League video, and it just means that I won't be able to read any of the comments before I make that video. So I won't be doing shoutouts in that video, but I just wanted to make you aware of that. But with that being said, let's get into the shoutouts from my previous video. So there seemed to be a little bit of confusion about last week's question of the day, where I asked what was the most overrated Pokemon from any of the 3 main leagues, and a lot of people commented about Pokemon that they thought were really strong and then listed reasons why they were strong, and perhaps maybe they thought I meant overpowered, but I actually meant overrated in a sense that they were rated higher than they perhaps should be. Pokemon that aren't as strong as everyone thinks they are. So with that being said, let's get into the first shoutouts. Now we've got Jasper and Yogesh Sharma, who both mention Azumarill, as its usage is still very high despite not being anywhere near as strong as it used to be, and as well a lot of the new meta Pokemon are able to beat it, so it loses to Walrein, Trevenant, Registeel, a very strong trio, and it also loses to Pokemon like Medicham, which is kind of embarrassing for a fairy type. As well, it can't even beat the Araquanid, which it resists all of its charge moves. So yeah, Azumarill just nowhere near as strong as it used to be, and surprisingly still gets used a lot. So yeah, definitely I would say Azumarill is overrated. And now for a more controversial choice, we've got Harrow276 Pogo mentions a Great League Commo O. So this is a strange one because you obviously don't see it loads, and that's mostly because it's still extremely rare. But the thing about this Pokemon is that a lot of YouTubers grinded to get it and showcase it straight away, claiming that it was a meta breaking Pokemon that just destroys a lot of the meta. And whilst like technically that could be true, I just don't think it's as good as people made it out to be. And you haven't really seen any videos of it since it came out, so it can't be that meta defining or core breaking. So I kind of see where they're coming from, so yeah, they get a shout out there. And with that being said, thank you all so much for watching today's video, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.